What's up, everyone? Welcome to Power Play with CJ. So we're focusing on is Gabriel Landeskog's offensive production a surprise? Now, I know he was number 2 overall pick in the draft back in 2011, but the consensus was going into that year he was a safe pick. You know, he was going to play for a long time in the NHL, score 20, 25, maybe hit 30 a couple times in terms of goals, and just play a two-way game, be sound, effective, gritty. And he's really not a Swedish player. He plays around North American game, and I hate to when guys get pigeonholed into roles like that. And he's an effective three-zone player. He's a captain of the Avalanche at age 21. Got named the captain at I believe he was 19. I know that in the lockout he wasn't the captain until he was 20. But the point is he's an amazing player. I mean I believe he's top in the top 25 in NHL scoring. Yeah, 28th, excuse me. 64 points in 76 games, and again, playing all zones, playing a physical role, bringing leadership. I mean, he surprised me for sure. I mean, I thought he was going to be a good NHL player, but what he's been able to do is amazing. And if you remember what I said last year, I was critical of him wearing the captaincy at having the captaincy at about this time last year because Colorado, one of the worst teams in hockey. They got blown out one night, and JS get lambasted the team for, I think guys were playing an end of the year trip to Vegas, and they're more focused on that than on winning hockey games. And I said this is where they may want to kind of do what Tampa did with the Cavalier and take the C away from him for a couple of years. But they stuck with him, they had faith in him, and I think too many people pigeonholed him into that safe, effective NHL player role. It didn't look at his upside, and I think I'm one of those guys. I think that's just plain and simple. I mean, a 21-year-old kid that can play three zones, can be an effective physical player, and really just do everything. He's an awesome player, and he's a big reason why Colorado's had success this year. I mean, Varlamov's really turned it up a notch. Obviously the young talent. Landeskog with O'Reilly. Duchesne's hurt now, but he had an amazing season, 70 points, 71 games. Brian O'Reilly's played well. And, everyone's really come together in that team and bought into the concept. And Patrick Roy deserves a tremendous amount of credit for doing that. But I'm impressed with what I'm seeing from Landeskog, and I think he's going to continue to develop a better all-around game. I think he'll be a perennial 70, 80 point guy. I think that's, and I wouldn't have said that 3 years ago going into the draft. Maybe 50, 60 points at best, but former Calder Trophy winner and just a good all-around player that I didn't give enough credit to early on. I looked at him as solely what everyone else looked at him as instead of looking at what he's been able to do. Everywhere he's played. Former Kitchener Ranger captain, one of the youngest captains in NHL history, and I think he is only going to get better. And I think he's one of the best players in the best young players in the NHL. And, a guy that you can definitely have as a leader, which again I wasn't saying last year. So it goes to show you what a culture change can do for a franchise. And Landeskog has been a big part of that. He's been at the forefront of Colorado's rebuild. And if they want to go far in the play, I'm curious to see his game translates really well to the NHL playoffs. And I think he's going to be great, and I think that'll be his coming out party. I think the rest of the world will see how good he is as a two-way power forward that can produce offensively with some of the best of them. Anyway, that's one episode of the Power Play with CJ on is Gabriel Landeskog's offensive success surprising? Say that 3 times fast. Stay tuned for more episodes for the regular season, the playoffs, and beyond. Later, guys.